Hello, Cliveto. Welcome to the live video. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, I'll just continue what I was saying. So today we're just talking about the new year 2023. We're grateful to God for making it possible for us to see the new year. And so the main topic of discussion is actually the fact that we cannot get everything done in January. Like, it's true, the new year always comes with this kind of like, oh, it's the new year. Since it's the new year, I'm just going to be able to do this and do that. Things are just going to fall in place. Or no, that should not be it. I actually believe that we cannot get everything done in January. We cannot get everything because we start the new year with some kind of anticipation or some kind of extra motivation that we cannot actually keep up till the end of the year, and it means that it just easily comes and goes. And that's why they always say that you make new year resolutions at the start of the year, and before you know it, before maybe the first trimester is even done, you are not even keeping up with what you said you're going to do. And I think that is a mistake that we commit every year. It's something that I've been doing every year, and I realize that this year, let me approach the new year with a different mindset. Let me approach the new year with a different way of thinking. And that's why I'm saying that you cannot get everything done in January. Everything cannot fall in place in January. It's not because the new year is just like, okay, it's like every ordinary day that we normally have. Like, it's a new day, like any day that we normally wake up in the morning, and kind of like the only difference is that 2022 has changed 2023, and it was just a 1 second difference. Like from 2022 to 2023, just 1 second, when it just clicks from 59 to 0000. That's the only difference. And I actually wrote down a couple of things that I want to share with you guys, why I'm saying that we cannot get everything done in 2023, and the way in which we should actually go into the year, the way in which we should actually go into the year so that it's going to be very much beneficial for us. And the first thing that I want to share with us is that you have to analyze the year 2022. If you have not yet done that, I believe that it is very important to do that. And don't end at just analyzing the year 2022. You start by, okay, how did the year 2022 go? The goals I set for myself, was I able to achieve them? I was not able to achieve them. What caused me not to achieve them? So after analyzing, you need to be able to bring out the things that cause you not to actually achieve the goals that you said you were going to achieve. And after bringing out those things, the next best thing for you now is to take resolutions with respect to those things that did not work out well for you, which caused you not to achieve your goals. So that's the first thing I have to do. Bring out resolutions from the things that caused you not to achieve your goals in 2022. Because those are the things now that going into the new year we should focus on. Because we already know that this particular thing that happened to me is what made me not to be able to achieve my goals. And so the new year, if I want the new year to be different, then I need to do things differently. I need to take these things that put me behind and then create resolutions out of them so that they should push me in front. And when I'm talking about maybe resolutions, it's not just like, okay, this year I'm going to, but it's actually being intentional about it and taking it gradually. Because the second thing actually that I want to talk about is the fact that we start the year with a kind of momentum that we're not even able to keep up with. Please guys, if you're watching, please just comment down below if you agree with what I'm saying, or if you feel like, okay, no, I can look at it in a different way, just comment down below so that it should be interactive. I cannot see you, I can only see that you're watching, so there's no other way that I can feel that you're present. So please just drop some comments in the comment section, okay? So the second thing that I was talking about is the fact that we should not start the year with the kind of momentum that we cannot actually go through with to the end of the year, because that's what actually always affects us. You start the new year all pumped up. Oh no, this is a new year, this one, that one. That momentum that you're starting the year with, you'll not be able to keep up with that momentum to the end of the year. So the best thing is not to actually do that. The best thing is not to start with so much extra momentum. It's not going to help. And that's why I'm saying that When you start with so much like so much momentum like that, at the end of the day it dies down, or at the end of the day you're trying so much to just get everything done the first month of the year that it might even lead to burnout. So don't start the year with too much momentum, because you'll not be able to keep up. Except that you know that whatever you're doing, you're going to be able to follow through from January to December. Then if that's the case, do that. Feel free to do that. If not, start the year with a pace that you can be able to keep up till the end of the year. And this is not me saying that, oh, be lazy. No. Start the year, be excited about the new year and be excited about the things you're going to achieve in the new year, but don't be too extra about it. Don't feel like, oh, I'll just get all of this done now. No, it's not going to work out that way. Like, take it gradually, take it one step at a time. Don't start with too much of momentum, which leads me now to the third thing I was supposed to talk about. Take decisions to do better. Take decisions to be better, and take decisions to, in fact, be conscious about what you say you're going to do. Because going into the new year right now, like I was talking about taking resolutions to be able to do things. For us to be actually, sorry, excuse me. So for us to actually be better this new year, I believe that if we're taking the conscious decision to do certain things, what we should be developing now is habits. So it means that we should, like I was talking about in the previous point, not starting with too much momentum. So it means that start with a pace that you can follow, start with a pace that you can keep up with, and then now be intentional about creating habits. When I'm talking about being intentional about creating habits, I mean in the sense of start with something that start a habit that is going to help you to be better, because you have already been able to detect that, okay, this is what slowed me down. So it means that you can now try to develop a new habit that can actually instead propel you ahead. So you can start with a new habit that can be able to propel you much ahead, and then now build that habit. Make conscious efforts every day. For something to become a habit, it means that it is first of all a routine. Like you decide that, no, today I'm going to do this thing, and that tomorrow I'll do the same thing, and then after tomorrow I'll do the same thing. So when it becomes a routine, after it has you have done it over and over and over, it becomes now it comes naturally to you. It just becomes now like a habit. Now it's part of you. You don't have to put too much stress or too much effort to be able to do it. But at the beginning it was not that way, and so the work has to be put in. The habits, we have to actually develop them, and they start from being routines. And these routines, we're going to develop them from what the analysis that we made of the previous year, the resolutions that we're able to get from that, and then now we try, sorry, excuse me, we try to make those things now into habits. We try to make those things into routines which become habits, and that's how we're going to do better. So guys, everything I'm sharing is just for us to be more intentional about 2023, so that we should not just come with some momentum at the start, and then that same momentum we cannot keep it up to the end of the year, then it was not helpful. Let's start somewhere that is going to help us to progress gradually, and eventually get those goals done, get those goals achieved. I'm talking about goals. My fourth point is set goals for this new year. And please set smart goals. I'm sure we know smart goals means specific goals, measurable goals, attainable goals, realistic goals, and time bound goals. So remember, these five things these five things have to constitute your goal. So your goal has to be smart. And I want to put much more emphasis on your goal being realistic. The R of smart, realistic. Because the reason why at the end of the year sometimes we're not fulfilled, or this is something that's happened to me, is because when I start the year with the momentum I'm talking about, so much momentum, oh, this year going to be this and that, I set some kind of goals that, okay, they are smart, but the realistic part of the goals has like, is this really realistic? But that is what we're supposed to avoid. Let's not avoid being, because they say that, like, they always say that we should be positive, but the thing that you should not fall into, or the trap that you should not fall into, is the trap of over positivity. Yes, over positivity means now that we have gotten out of just being positive, and then we are really no longer realistic about the goals that we're setting. So I want to stress on our goals being realistic, guys. Realistic such that as you're going, maybe your first trimester goes, by the time March reaches, you're seeing that, okay, no, I've actually gotten these things done because they were realistic enough. But if they're not realistic, then we're not really going to be satisfied as time is going on. So guys, please let us set realistic goals. And one thing about the goals that we set is that we tend to forget them a lot. If I'm looking down, it's just I'm trying to check my notes to be sure that I'm giving out all the juice that I'm normally supposed to give out. So we need to, after setting these goals, for us to keep on being in the spirit, if I can put it that way, the spirit of the goals that we set, what we should do is that we should rewrite the goals. Rewrite your goals every day. Such that it's always going to be in your head. Like your goals are always going to be in your head. You will always remember that this is what I'm fighting for. This is what I have to achieve. Oh. It's going because if you just decide that I'll just write them down and then you just write them down and then now you're not really doing anything about like you forget because it's natural to forget. As human beings we naturally forget. So if you just write them down and then you forget, eventually forget about them, then when you wake up every day you will not really be even striving hard to actually achieve those goals. But now when you take now, like I was talking about habits in the previous point, you make it a routine to rewrite your goals every day. Like okay, when you wake up in the morning, you write your goals so that as you're waking up, before you're stepping out of the house, what you have to do, you remember that this is what I'm fighting for. So every day is in your head. You don't tend to forget the goal that you no longer know what you're fighting for. No, but you remember. I hope we're on the same page. Okay. And then the second to the last point, this is the national anthem of this channel. I always talk about it like in every video that I almost every video that I make. I always talk about planning, that we should plan, guys. I believe that if we really take a conscious effort to always plan, then it's really going to help us to do better and to be better. If we take a conscious effort to plan all the time, we're going to do better because I've had this thing happen to me too many times. I really want to do something. But I tend to forget that this is what I said I was going to do. Why? Because I did not plan. And by planning, I mean writing it down. So